And welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a wee update on the Celtic transfer news. One big major story of Nicholas Kuhn being sold to Como in Italy for a fee of £16.4 million. Also going to be a wee update on the transfer of Hayato Inamura coming to Celtic from Albirex Niigata in Japan. Also, potential exit of Gustav Lagerbielke. And also, we update on one of Celtic's transfer targets, Kvistgaarden, who now seems bound for another club. And we injury updates on Rio Hatate and Cameron Carter-Vickers. Before we do crack on with the video, just some sad news regarding the death of one of Liverpool's players. I know this is a Celtic-based video, but I actually am a big Liverpool fan as well. And it's always so sad to see the death of a young, promising footballer. One of my favourite Liverpool players of current times, Diogo Jota, 28-year-old, who died tragically in a car crash this morning along with his brother. So just a wee moment of silence for Diogo Jota and remembering his family, especially at this awful time, and may he rest in peace. So moving on to happier things. After that sad news, I have to say I was rather surprised. I thought today was going to be a rather quiet news day for Celtic. Then suddenly, late afternoon, all the news wires lit up to say that Celtic have sold Nicholas Kuhn to Como in Italy for £16.4 million. Up until yesterday, it looked like Red Bull Leipzig were the favourites to sign Kuhn, and Como and Newcastle were thought to have dropped out. And then suddenly, middle of the afternoon, it's been announced that Celtic and Como have agreed on a £16.4 million fee. And I would presume that Kuhn is happy to leave and happy to move to Serie A. And so I think it's a done deal. And I'm sure that will get confirmed fully that Kuhn has signed for them in the next day or two. Kuhn, a 25-year-old player. He, of course, joined Celtic from Rapid Vienna for a fee of £3 million in January 2024. And so Celtic selling him in July 2025 for £16.4 million have made a profit of £13.4 million in just around 18 months. Kuhn did have a brilliant season for Celtic last season. Admittedly, his first half was much better than his second half. Second half was rather variable, but dogged by injuries and niggles and lack of fitness. However, last season, he had a season rating of 7.38 out of 10, 51 games, 21 goals, 15 assists, which is pretty good record overall for a season. As I said, coming to halfway through the season, he could well have set multiple records, but he did fade away a wee bit in the second half of the season. Whole Celtic career, 69 games, 24 goals, 18 assists, and over his whole career for a variety of different teams, 296 games, 85 goals, and 55 assists. I have to say, I think Southern have done very good business here. Don't think Nicholas Kuhn had any particular desire to stay at Celtic. It does appear that he saw Celtic as being a stepping stone back to higher level German football or into the English Premier League. And it became pretty clear, I think, from the January transfer window onwards that Kuhn was looking to move. That may also explain why he didn't play quite so well in the second half of the season. And I think Celtic do have some strength and depth with current players, and I think also highly likely that Brendan Rodgers will go back into the transfer market and sign another winger or two, but may well use just temporarily until Jota's back fully fit at the start of 2026. He may use players such as Luis Palma, Marco Tilio, and James Forrest and Yang to fill in the gaps behind Maeda and Negrin, who I think will be the first choice two wide players for Celtic for this season. We'll see how the transfer market pans out over the next couple of months. Another player thought to be leaving Celtic, although as yet not confirmed, although it is said that Gustav Lagerbielke has flown to Portugal for a medical. Gustav Lagerbielke expected to sign for SC Braga in Portugal. The fee is now thought to be £2 million, and so it does look like Celtic will be losing about £1 million on the deal that brought Lagerbielke to Celtic 2 years ago. I have to say, actually, I'm quite disappointed at Celtic letting Gustav Lagerbielke go. I think he is actually a highly talented player. I think he was brought in at a difficult time, came in at a time of lots of injuries, rather unsettled, multiple defensive partners for the first few weeks in the team. Didn't really give him a chance to settle down. Did seem to lose favour with Rodgers very quickly, having been sent off against Feyenoord, and seemed to drop very quickly out of Brendan Rodgers' plans as soon as Cameron Carter-Vickers got 3/4 fit. Lagerbielke had a brilliant season last season for 20 Enschede, but they decided they couldn't afford his transfer fee, and so he came back to Celtic. I personally would have loved to see how well Lagerbielke and Cameron Carter-Vickers paired up as a partnership, as I think the two of them would have dovetailed very, very well. However, we're not going to see that, and it does appear that Gustav Lagerbielke is off to Portuguese football, and I think he's going to be a big, big success over there, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if in a season or two's time he's moving to one of the big five leagues, such as in England, Spain, Germany, or Italy. Coming into Celtic is thought to be Hatate Inamura. A lot of stories saying the price for that is going to be £250,000. If you want to say that in yen, that is 49.5 million yen, and so sounds much a bigger fee in Japanese yen than it does in pounds. Inamura is a very promising player. I think he might well end up being Celtic's backup left back rather than playing at centre back next season, although we'll see how that all pans out. I think it's going to take him a wee bit of time to settle. Hopefully he'll have Rio Hatate and Dyson Maeda to help him fit in at Celtic and fit in Scotland and in Glasgow. And I think over the course of the second half of the season, we might see him playing more and more in the team. It's thought that he is now in London for his medical. If all goes well with that, then he'll be coming up to Celtic to complete the contract, etc. And also, I would expect there will be some form of hearing on him getting a work permit to play in Scotland. One player that does not look like he will be coming to Celtic after all is the Brøndby striker Mathias Kvistgaarden. Celtic have been in and out of buying him for the last 2 years. However, it now appears that Lens in the top league in France are about to sign him for a fee of £11 million, approximately €13 million. And it does look like Celtic had already decided to move on to other strikers to be Celtic's new number one for the next few seasons. And so it does appear any hopes of buying Mathias Kvistgaarden have now gone permanently. Some happier news just to update on Rio Hatate. He was back doing a football training camp with some children back home in Japan, apparently fully fit, although obviously not back into contact football, but it does appear to be back into training, back to fitness, and so I would expect that he'll be coming over to Scotland very soon to join the pre-season training, and within a week or two, I'm sure he will be part of the pre-season friendly squads up until the start of the season in August. Few contrasting stories regarding Cameron Carter-Vickers. Stories early this morning were suggesting that Cameron Carter-Vickers had only some leftover effects of niggling injuries from 24-25 season, and been allowed not to be part of the American squad for the Gold Cup this summer, and instead was given the full summer off to recover in time for Celtic's new season. So some sites and stories and journalists were saying there was absolutely no truth at all to Cameron Carter-Vickers' injury problems, and simply that he was being given an extra week or so off and then back into pre-season training with Celtic next week or so. However, other stories suggesting that Cameron Carter-Vickers had a minor arthroscopic knee surgery to clean out his knee over the summer, and he now apparently has fully recovered from that surgery, and he is expected back into pre-season training in the next week or so, and should be ready to play in the later pre-season friendlies. But he's not going to be playing against Queen's Park on Friday or the next game against Cork City. And then after that, Celtic have a behind closed doors friendly in Portugal. And so I suspect that Cameron Carter-Vickers, probably along with Rio Hatate, will be in the friendly squads for the games after that. No other news as far as I can see by around about 6 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. So we'll finish the video there. So as we finish, just a wee polite suggestion, encouragement. If you are new to the channel, not yet subscribed, please do click that subscriber button. Just one or two new subscribers per day makes me so happy, especially on such a sad day with the death of Diego Jota, the Liverpool player, in the car accident this morning. So do click that subscriber button, completely free of charge, no obligation, but it's nice to spread the good news of Celtic. And do feel free to pop your own thoughts, comments regarding the Nicholas Kuhn transfer, the Gustav Lagerbielke transfer, and any other Celtic issues into the comment section for a nice wee chat and debate. And so until the next video, goodbye and hail, hail.